Okay, so last night on the couch, I drew this for Hawkmother, sort of an intro page that will go up for free for everybody to see, and then the pages will be part of the normal Patreon thing. So I drew this on the couch last night. I think I tried recording it. I don't remember how successful I was, so there might be a video for that. But it was, tougher on the couch. Anyway, I scanned this in, and now I'm going to do a quick coloring job on it. When I say quick coloring job, what I mean to say is that, the whole idea of these comics that I'm doing on my Patreon pages for fun, a sort of stream of consciousness thing, and tell stories that I want to tell that are different. This one certainly is. This is a very stream of consciousness kind of comic strip. It'll be in 2 parts, so I think altogether it'll be like 6 pages. So one of the first things I have to do is take the scan, which is at 600 dpi, and then I'm going to place it. Oh, that's for something else. There you go. I'm working on a little promo piece for Murder Incorporated. But anyway, I have my template already laid out here in a file that I call master ref, as in reference. So I keep a bunch of stuff in there from my pre-drawn city backgrounds or zipatone patterns and a bunch of other stuff. And then I've always got these things that I need all the time in one file. So this is the sort of basic 600 dpi template. So I'm going to place the art in there. I just got to fit it. I'm sure there's some automatic way of fitting stuff. I don't know. I'm not good at a lot of the shortcuts, keyboard stuff. And I'm not going to think too much about what I'm doing here. Because again, these are specifically, these comics here are not meant to, for me to sit long on or to take a lot of time. I need to basically treat these kind of comics are kind of like comics that are happening out of my sketchbook on the fly. And I think that'll be fun. You guys will watch me kind of learn and figure it out as I go. So again, there's going to be a super quick coloring job on here. So I've got this top layer here. I'm working in Photoshop right now. I usually work in Clip Studio. There's still a lot of stuff in Photoshop that I just don't. Okay, now. There's still a lot of stuff in Photoshop that I know how to do there, but I don't know how to deal with really in Clip Studio, and that's mostly in the coloring end. But I'll figure it out. I'm a slow learner. Instead of sitting down and taking a day or two to really figure stuff out, I just get by with what I know, which is why I'm sure lots of you will see stuff I'm doing here and go, why doesn't he just use this shortcut or do that thing? I'm an old dog. New tricks are hard. Anyway, so this layer needs to be in darken. It's the top layer of my coloring problem. Let me see if we can see some of that. There you go. So this layer stays on top. I'm going to create a new layer underneath. And I still got the thing for cropping here, but this, I don't know if it's ever going to see print or not. But anyway, I keep it there, but I like to have it off because it's too distracting for the most part. So this is about where I want it to be on the page. I notice up top here, there is a lot of, I guess I could just stretch that out. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. There's a little too much. I guess I could just fix it now. I'm already putting more thought into it than I want. That should be good. I just raised it up a couple pixels. And it's fine that you'll see sort of where the paper cuts off here. That's not like a deal breaker for me or anything. I'm also going to get a better camera. This is a really old camera that I have on here right now. one that'll be in HD, so you can see everything a lot more clearly. Anyway, so layer underneath. Basically, I'm going to separate the background, whatever that's going on here, in blue, and then the foreground in like an orange color. So it's just going to be more of a warm color. That thing's going to end up being a cool color. So this is how I do it. This gets kind of weird. I'll just pick kind of that color is going to be blue. I guess that's a good blue. It looks like a good blue. This is how technical I get. I have to make this color file first, don't I? I should be working in CMYK, but I'm just working in RGB because largely this is going to be for print. I mean, for just online. Eventually I'll print it, then I'll have to go into the files and fix all the RGB CMYK stuff. CMYK is for print, RGB is for internet stuff, and that's why it's so much brighter digitally than it is in print. Anyway, boom, so I'll put that there. And I really like keeping the colors almost like the sketches, which is just really fucking loose. So I'm not going to try and get her body in here like, I'm not trying to stay inside the lines. In fact, I actually like to be outside of the lines. Especially for a character like this. She's sort of this magical character. I don't want to call her a witch because I don't know that she's a witch. I don't know enough about my own story yet. Here, I'm just sort of making up from the id. When you do read the little story, I don't want to give anything of it away. I'd rather it be confusing and not make any sense than for me to tell you what it is that I think it's about. It's almost a dream thing. But anyway, so she is this sort of a mystical character, sort of a mythological mother character. I mean, that's why I named her Hawkmother. The story, what I can tell you about the story before checking it out is that the dialogue that I chose, which I lettered in this really bizarre, whacked out kind of way where I purposely tilted the letters and spelled some stuff backwards and moved things around like it's transmission that you're getting that's like misfiring or something. All that dialogue are excerpts from an old Norse poem about the Valkyries. Yet this is a science fiction story, and a fantasy story, and a dream story. But that's why I want to do this kind of stuff. I don't want to do things that, most of the stories will be really straightforward. But there's stuff like this, I just wanted to be whatever the fuck it was that I was thinking of or making up at the time. Why this is a naked old lady, you keep asking yourself. I've asked myself that too, and then I stopped myself from thinking about it. It's just where the story goes, man. I like listening to inner thoughts. Maybe I'll figure it out. I think I have interpretations of the story, but again, I don't want to ruin that for anybody. So anyway, what I do then is I just go up into into image adjustments, and I just go to huge saturation, and then I just simply type it from here. So I want her to be like this kind of orange color. So I'm changing the hue right now, and then I mess with the saturation. And how light or dark I want to do. Pretty primary orange. I like it. Okay, that's it. I don't want to overthink it. What am I doing now? I hope this music, I don't know if you can hear it or not. I hope it doesn't bother you. But I can't work without music. What's going on right there? Oh, okay. So I like the negative space here in between her arms and the shape of this skull slash something. What do I want to do with that? I think outside here, everything should be lighter, so let's do that, then I'll grab this. That's cool. Am I doing that right? Yeah. Sometimes I confuse myself with the layers and stuff. Also, it's still early. I haven't had my full coffee. Alright, now I'm going to get in pretty close, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten up this blue behind her. But I don't want the artifacting, I don't know if that's the right phrase, but it can get funky in here. So I'm just trying to avoid the funkiness. One of the other things that I really like about recording this stuff is it gives me a better time of how much time I'm spending on this, how much time I'm spending on anything. One of the things that I start to do when I'm working on pages, like for Murder Inc. or Powers, or when I was on Kate Carson, was to start running my iPhone's timer, a stopwatch, because a weird thing happens with time when you're working. Sometimes it feels like you've been working for a really long time and it's only been 5 minutes. Other times, the time just plays weird with you. It's very strange. So anyway, I find that having a timer helps me out a lot, keep track of how much time I'm actually working on a page. It also helps keep my head down more, because there's times where it feels like it's been, oh shit, like I've worked so long, so hard, and it's only been 10 straight minutes. And I go, oh, okay, Mike, stop being a wimp and stop being so distracted. Stop trying to check Twitter or whatever. So I find that stopwatch is a big help. Speaking of Twitter, one of the reasons why I wanted to do a Patreon page is to create more of a community to talk to you guys directly. I have a lot of Twitter followers, but I don't feel like I have a lot of great conversations on Twitter. And I don't blame that on Twitter or anybody else. It's me. I feel like a Patreon page kind of be closer to the old dentist board days, where we would have a community to talk to each other. That's my cat scratching. Get down. So I'm hoping to create more of that kind of old school feel. Twitter has also just got a lot of baggage and negativity. Anyway, so I've outlined this area. And again, I'm going to go to huge saturation, and I'm just going to lighten it a little. Or maybe I'll keep the same value, but I'll just saturate it. There we go. I really like this area in here. Sometimes I'll see if the pen will, if I close all the lines in there and I selected that area, it would be easy to change, but I'll have to do this. So I think some of these comics have also been influenced by, or this comic specifically, I hate the word existential because it's so pretentious, but I guess that's the right word. So a lot of David Lynch's films, watching, what am I watching right now? Oh shit, wrong way. Watching Legion. There's a lot of great symbolic stuff going on through the storytelling. And that stuff's been really influential to me too. Alright, let's go on. No, I don't want that. That right. That's cool. Sometimes I just hit the wrong buttons because I'm scatterbrained. Let's do the skull stuff. And also, this would go by faster too if I wasn't splitting my limited brain capacity with, talking. Shit. I gotta be careful how I connect the lines. And I could probably just use there's sort of an inverted reverse selection of the lasso I could have used too. But again, depends on my mood at that second. I'm also moving pretty quickly, so I don't stop to think very often, which is true in most of my life. Use saturation again. This is the skull part. I'm going to keep that really light. I keep doing this because of when I work in Clip Studio, I've programmed this to zoom in and out. I think I could do that in Photoshop. I had it in Photoshop at one point, and then I kind of undid it. I don't know if you can hear any of that music or not. I think Kraftwerk is coming right now. So I like this tone here, so I'm just going to grab that same color and then pop it there. Am I done? I think that's done enough. I mean, again, I don't want to be spending a bunch of time on this, but I'm going to lay down master lab, my giant reference file here. Textures, zip tone. I'm going to grab this one because I've already kind of made it into a color tone. And then once I have this color, it's pretty easy to manipulate it into any other color. So I'm pasting it on here. I got to make that a multiply file layer. And I just want this over this background element. So now I'm just cutting away everywhere I don't want it to be. Hawkmother is coming through. Shit, I don't know what to do. The Hawkmother came out of, the name came out of like a weird attempts at combinations to do. I was trying to do like a ridiculous over-the-top name. Pussy Riot, one of the greatest over-the-top, kind of insane, and yet meaningful names ever. So I was looking for something ridiculous like that, but settled on something that sounds like a 80s action film of some kind about an old naked lady.